Okay, yesterday we started rivers and we compared a river system to a tree. Trees have a trunk, branches, and twigs. Rivers have creeks, streams, and rivers. So the trunk of the tree would be like the big river, so like the Missouri River would be the trunk of the tree. The smaller branches would be the smaller rivers that feed into it, like the Big Sioux. And then the little twigs would be like the creeks and streams like Skunk Creek and that. So that's how we're comparing to that. I do want you to write this down. Drainage basin, the land area over which rivers get their water. A drainage basin, land area over which rivers get their water. Basically, it's the area whose water finds its way into the river. So we are in the Missouri River drainage basin right now. The rain that falls eventually finds its way, most of it, into the Missouri River. Now it might find its way into little creeks and streams in the Big Sioux, and eventually that dumps into the Missouri River. So we are in the Missouri River drainage basin. I do want you to write this down. It will be on a test. Mississippi River drainage basin. The majority of the rain that falls between the Rockies and the Appalachian Mountains falls into the Mississippi River drainage basin. And actually, the Missouri River is considered part of the Mississippi River drainage basin because the Mississippi is a larger river. So pretty much every drop of water that falls from the Rocky Mountains, so like Colorado and Wyoming and all of that, all the way to the Appalachian Mountains, which will be on the East Coast, everything in between there is going to find its way some way into the Mississippi River. All right, so this isn't the greatest map, but here's the Rockies, here are the Appalachian Mountains. Everything in between is going to find its way into the Mississippi River, which will dump out right here in the Gulf of Mexico. Almost all of this, every little river will dump into a bigger river, which is a tributary to the Mississippi. Stream classification. Why don't you write this down? We're going to break rivers into young, mature, or old. We're going to start with the young rivers. Steep banks, rapid flow, may have waterfalls or rapids. A young river is fast, full of energy, moves a lot. It's kind of like you. You're constantly moving, touching each other. That would be considered a young river. Young puppies like to play, run around, all that stuff. So it's pretty active. A mature river. I would write this down. It's curving, meandering. It has a flood plain, a broad, flat valley carved by a meandering stream. That's an excellent picture of a mature river. Kind of goes where there's least resistance. I would be considered a mature river. It's not moving real fast, but it is moving. If I'm going too fast, you can always pause. And then we have an old river. Slow moving, very large floodplain, like the Mississippi River. Mrs. Peters, would be an old river. Slow moving, large floodplain. So we have young would be fast, maybe have rapids, waterfalls, mature, moving back and forth, meandering. Old, slow moving, big floodplain. And that's it for today.